Hello. Just a little talk today about depression. I know it's something that I come back to every once in a while, but it's something I'm very familiar with for myself in the past. So it's something that from time to time I will see something out and about or hear something, hear some kind of words thrown out there and think, oh, that's the whole problem. It's the whole problem. why people experience it. Because depression, for the most part, unless you've got some form of psychosis or something structurally wrong in your brain, depression, for the most part, is not something you have. It's like a program that you're running. It's a choice, in a way. It's because something is bothering you in your life and you're not dealing with it, basically. And I come across this thing the other day, and it was somebody saying, oh, I wish depression would just go away. I hate it when it visits. Something along those lines. There was something else. Or how people talk about, like the black dog has visited them, which is a dog lover. I blooming hate. It's like triggering to me. But yeah, I think now, because, I did a lot of work on myself and I understand a lot about these things that I didn't in the past. And I was very much stuck in victim mode when I was younger. And part of that was because I was backed into a position where, in order to get attention in life, you had to have something going wrong. You had to be struggling or suffering or not coping. You had to have like a big warning red light flashing that attention was needed here. So I do get where people are coming from, but the problem with having done a lot of work on yourself is you do tend to get a bit frustrated when people insist on saying to themselves things that intimate that they have no power in their own lives, because it's like you have all the power in the world. You have as much power as the next person. It's like, it's not that one person was born with more motivation or more capability than you in life. Everybody's born equal in those terms. We've all got different gifts and talents, but when it comes to things like being depressed or being motivated or whatever it is, we're on a level playing field. Depression is this choice. Depression comes along when you've backed yourself into a situation where you feel like there's no way out, or you've been so hurt that you formed certain beliefs about yourself and you've had triggering incidents in the past. And it's also that feeling of stuckness that comes from when you're not chasing your goals and dreams because you don't really know, or you're telling yourself you don't know how to get there, you don't know how to start, you don't know what the answer is. And all of these things are just stories that you tell yourself that keep you stuck. And if you're not doing something in life that makes you happy in some terms, and it doesn't have to be a conventional job, a 9 to 5, it doesn't have to have security or what society calls security. It just has to be something that makes you happy and fulfills what you feel that you're talented at, or that you can do, or that speaks to your soul, or whatever it is. If you're stuck in a job or a way of life or a relationship that makes you really, really unhappy, then of course you're going to get depression. Of course you're going to start getting ill. If you're telling yourself you're a victim of life all the time, if life has done this to you or depression has done this to you, you instantly become a victim, because you're instantly saying, I can't do anything about this because it's being done to me. So straight away you set yourself up to lose. The only way you start gaining is by realising that you're the one in charge of your own life. You say how it runs, you say what you want to feel. It's like me, I don't always feel like showing up here every day. I don't always feel like I have something to say. I don't always feel like, coming up with social media content in general. Some days are easier than other days. And I can start to run a whole chain of things in my head if I choose to, about the way I look or how I feel or what my body's like or this, that or the other. But because I've done work on myself, when I get up in the morning and I don't feel great and I feel lethargic, I start asking myself, what program are you running in your head? What are you saying to yourself? Or what didn't you help yourself by doing last night? You know what I mean? Take back accountability for what's going on in your life. Realise that you're the one driving this. So if you don't feel great, if you mentally feel yucky or less than or not good enough, ask yourself, what are you thinking? What are you telling yourself? Because this is what happens, is we all get stuck in these patterns of just allowing those thoughts and those beliefs about ourselves to just run completely unchecked. We just enjoy that delicious horribleness of it all. And we all do this to ourselves from time to time. We just get really self-serving and really sorry for ourselves and all of the rest of it. And it's all just stories in our heads. There's next to no truth to all of it. Whenever I've said it before, when you're telling yourself you're stuck, you're absolutely lying to yourself, because you're choosing something. There's something you are choosing, and currently that choice is keeping you stuck. So you need to make a new choice. Depression is always trying to bring your attention to something that you're not happy about. It's trying to get you to pay attention to what needs to happen. And sometimes it might be a case of letting go of somebody that you're in a relationship with, if it's keeping you stuck, or it's keeping you feeling a certain way about yourself, or you're absorbing everything that they have to say about you. You know, you can do anything in this life, but you have to be willing to be brave enough to do it, to challenge your own thoughts and beliefs. You know, there's people that come to me, perfectly lovely people, that will have like a little introductory call with me, and we'll go through it all, and I'll explain how I can help, and they will seem like they're all geared up for it. And then I might get an email or whatever, and they're saying, oh, I'm just going to think about it, or just don't think I'm ready. I just don't think I can listen to a recording every day for 3 weeks, even though it's like, 20 minutes. It's not a huge commitment. And it's like, I just have to let them go, because I just think, wow, that's a lot of stories running. You know what I mean? It's like, are you desperate for change, or are you not? It's like, because here I'm saying, we can do this, it'll be really proactive, you'll feel like this, the experience is like this, it's all laid out. And then somebody who's come to me saying, I really can't stand feeling like this anymore, I want this and I want that and not the other, suddenly they're going, whoops, and reversing. And that is what we do to ourselves. We're often offered help, or an outstretched hand, or a new way of thinking in life. And that little fear monkey in the mind that creates things like depression, it's going, oh, no, that's not right. That's not going to work. I can't trust that help. I can't possibly do that. I can't commit to that. And all the rest of it. And then you wonder why you're still depressed, and why you're still anxious, and all the rest of it, and why you and what else people will go do is then say, oh, well, that didn't work, yeah, or whatever. And it's like, but you didn't even try it. You know what I mean? You reversed before you even tried. So many people will put themselves out a little bit and not just hold the nerve and follow through. And that will lead to things like depression, because you're constantly feeding that loop in your mind that I fail at things. I fail. I've no staying power. I can't do it. And the thing that you've got to do in order to beat that is to stay and take little actions and be a bit brave. There's no way around that. There's no magic way around that. It's up to you. It's not something anybody else is going to do for you. You know, I've offered people in the past treatment for free when they've been utterly desperate and telling me they're desperate and all of the rest of it. And then they go, oh, no, I don't think I can. And it's like, now come on. Because I tell you, when I was young, if I'd have been offered free help, if somebody said to me, I can help you feel like this, I can help you stop being a victim, I can help you do this, I can help you feel more confident, I can help you like yourself better in the mirror, I can help you make, I'd have said, please Give me that free help. I will take that free help and I'll run with it. I have paid like some of the top people in RTT, and I tell you, I can tell you hand on my heart that the lady that I paid £1,000 to do RTT with was no better than me. And that's not a slight on her. It's just telling you how good this process is when you trust in it and you put your money down and you say, I'm going to take a chance on me and I'm going to do this recording and I'm going to stop telling myself things like, I am depressed, I have depression, I am anxious, whatever it is. Because anxiety, again, it's just a thought that you keep having on repeat in your head. That's all it is you listening to your internal mind chatter that creates stories that are not true, have never happened, will never happen, will never occur to you in your whole goddamn life, but you're insisting on running that theory in your head until it feels really, really real to you. So I can tell you, with best intentions for you, coming from a place of being a person who told myself a whole lot of bullshit in the past, that if you really want change, it is down to you. Because you can be the most insecure person in the world and have this most wonderful partner who tells you all the things that you want to say. You could be wealthy, you could have it all going on, but if you haven't sorted out that crap in your head and called yourself on your own rubbish, your own nonsense, then you will be unhappy and you will suffer from things like anxiety, like depression, like fears and phobias. You will be a victim even though you have everything in the world going on for you. It's all in here. It literally is what you're allowing yourself to do to you. You know, so many people go around and talk about their relationships or their families or whatever as if they can't do anything about it because that situation is being done to them. And it's like at that point you've got to kind of say, what are you doing about it? You're not a victim here. What could you change? What conversation do you need to have? Do you need to walk away? Do you need to wake up? Do you need to stop relying on financial security from somebody else in exchange for being run into the ground, basically, whatever it is? You know, at some point, you have to make a difficult decision. If you want to heal from depression or anxiety, you literally just need to take back control over your own life, to realise that you never lost it. You just succumbed to your own thoughts, basically. I get up every day and if I'm not feeling great, I think, how am I going to switch this up? Because this doesn't feel great, you know? But so many people just wake up feeling rubbishy and they think, this is me. This is what I am. This is how I feel. It's something that visits me. It's this chemical imbalance in my brain. They're doing all of that, and it's an excuse to not take any action, to not face up to any fears, to not have that bravery and say, what am I going to do about this? Because there's so many people in this world that are out there offering solutions in terms of things like rapid transformational therapy and other things. You know, and people will tell themselves all kinds of things like, I can't afford this, I can't do that, that's not available to me. And the more you tell yourself that something isn't available to you, that you were born with all of these things in life that are not available to you, then you will have things like depression and you will feel less than and you will feel not good enough and you will tell yourself you were born that way and nothing's ever going to get any better. But that's the choice you're making. You know, you have a choice to say, to come into this life and say, if I don't feel great, what do I need to do about it? What needs to change? Who can I go to for help? If necessary, what credit card company do I need to contact in order to pay for it? Because there's so many options that once you do them, you might never need to pay again. You're off and running. You know, there's plenty of people I've worked with that have only had one session for me and with me, and it's like I charge like a quarter of what some people do to do this work. And yes, looking at it in one chunk, it may look like a fair bit of money, but in terms of what you're going to save in an emotional sense, and that you might quit your dead end job and go out and earn tons of money as somebody that creates things with their hands. You might decide to, go into business. You might become a partner in something. If you resolve your fears, your anxiety, you need to tell yourself that you're depressed. You need to tell yourself that you're less than everybody else. Imagine where you could go and what you could do if you resolved all of these things that you're insisting on telling yourself right now. And that's maybe what you want to think about today, is if I take away all of these stories that I'm telling myself about myself, what would I actually be doing? And think of that in a very real way, because that is the answer basically. Because if you struggle to kind of imagine what you want out of this life, like you don't really know, you don't know what your heart's desire is, you don't know what you were born to do, try doing that today. Just because you see, the brilliant thing about your mind, and we use so little of our mind, the great thing about your mind is it can't help but answer a question. So when you ask it a question, it's going to come up with some really interesting stuff, and it's useful to analyse the things it is telling you. But ask your mind today, if I take away that fear, that feeling of less than, this idea that I was born depressed, this idea that I have anxiety, if I take away all these things, what would I go for? And see what pops up in your mind, because there'll be an idea, there'll be something that intrigues you to do or be or have. So that's what you have to do. You have to think, right, so how do I get rid of these things in order to do that, to go and chase that? And I'm right here telling you, RTT is a really good thing in order to help you do those things. And even if at that point you come up with nothing, RTT is always really good, because it takes you back to that time in your life, like say between 7 and 14 years old, that you probably maybe can't even remember anymore that clearly. But that time in your life where you really did have a good handle on what it is you wanted to do with your life. And like I say, if you're not doing what was meant for you in life, you will have things like depression, because you're not chasing that heart's desire. So we can actually take you back in hypnosis and find out what was in your head at 7 to 14. What was your inkling? Did you want to be a vet? Did you want to be a farmer? Did you want to be a hairstylist? It's a funny one, isn't it? Because I think I was having a chat with my hairstylist once about this. And many people that really want to be a hairstylist or something creative, or even something like a mechanic, or even dreams about being a plumber, whatever it is, people that have fascinations with pipes and nuts and bolts and scissors and, all of this kind of thing. Many of those people, when they were young, were told, oh no, you can't be that. You're too smart to be a hairstylist. You're too this to be that. You need to have a proper profession. You need to have job security. You need to have this. Everybody in the family is one of these, so you need to be one of these. A lot of people in life have had that, or been told that what appealed to them was not valid. And that can lead you to have lifelong depression, because you might have been put on this earth to be great at that one thing, or even to be average at that one thing, but just to enjoy what you could do. And so many people that are older that are telling themselves, I don't really understand why I'm depressed and this, and they're going to work and they're miserable and they hate all the colleagues, and they're telling themselves life never gets any better and everybody hates me and all of the rest of it. It's all down to these programs that you're running in your mind, and the things that you're telling yourself are not available to you, because all of those things start making you feel really disconnected from other people. And we do need people in our lives. We need to feel connected. We need to feel like we have a purpose. We need to feel like we're going somewhere or getting somewhere. You know what I mean? But we have this tendency to live in the past and keep dragging it around with us. And the past, once it's gone, is no use to us. We can't do anything about it. oftentimes it's not told us anything very, very helpful. You know what, it might have told us that we're a failure or we're never going to get anywhere or whatever it is. So why are we still dragging it around with us? It's time to stop. And it's really, really, really time to stop telling yourself that you are depressed or that you are anxious or I have depression. I am depressed. Remember that thing of anything that you say I am, the thing after it is what you're claiming for yourself. So when you say I am depressed, you are claiming depression as something that belongs to you. So it's really important to stop doing it, to get some observational distance from it, to get into proactive mode and say, what am I going to do about this? I don't want to feel this anyway more. I want to lose as little time as possible feeling this way. So what actions do I need to take? And I'm right here telling you, you can book a free call with me at any time and I will happily tell you whether I can help you or not. And at that point, it's up to you. It's up to you to decide whether you're brave enough to try, whether you're going to say, right, I'm going to invest some money in myself. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do the recording every day for 3 weeks. I'm going to take a chance on me. I'm going to see what I can do. Not expecting somebody else to sort it out for you, not expecting to be rescued, not expecting everybody on this planet to give you sympathy because you feel so terrible about yourself and your life. It's on you. It's on you as an individual, just like it's on me every day when I get up and decide how I'm going to feel, who I'm going to let impact me, what I'm going to do about all of this, what I'm going to eat, because eating well is a big part of it. You consume lots of sugar and alcohol and you don't drink a lot of water or anything like that, and you eat foods that are high carbs and there's no protein, no veg, you will feel depressed. There's no two ways about it. You want to start making a change on yourself, eat protein 3 times a day. At every meal, make sure you got protein going into you and you will start to feel better. But it literally all boils down to, what are you going to do about it? Not waiting on a doctor, not waiting on your next prescription, not waiting on somebody else's next opinion or next suggestion about what you should do. It's on you. What are you going to do about it? And it doesn't have to be as hard as you think it is. You can go to somebody like me that gives you a set way of working, that's got an end date in sight, that's not like months, years, decades into the future that you're going to have to do this. Go to somebody that's going to proactively help you, that's going to say, we're going to work in this way and it's going to take this long and you'll have this outcome. And if not, then we'll work bloody harder, you know what I mean? But that's the thing. While ever you take action, you will feel better. While ever you will allow yourself, tell yourself that you're stuck, you will feel rubbish. You know, and it is up to you. It's not up to your partner. It's not up to your children. It's not up to other members of your family, because all of these people cannot be relied on to be there when you need them. So you have to be the one driving your own life. That's the way it works. You know what I mean? And when you're driving your own life, then the right relationships and the right people and the right opportunities will come to you that will enhance your happiness, you know, and really guard your own happiness as well too, and guard in a sense your own energies, because when you do start changing, and you do when you have rapid transformational therapy, you will get people that will, you know, inadvertently occasionally knock you off course and stuff because they've not done the right work yet. So you'll when you have RTT, you develop in ways that you can't possibly understand until you have it, because your perception of everything changes when you change the perception of yourself. Every relationship around you changes. You know, I got that lovely email from my gentleman non-smoking client the other day, and said that a little thank you from his whole family, and because that's the truth of it, because he changed certain things, it impacts the long-term future of his place within his family and his ability to be around and all the rest of it. It's got every change you make in yourself has far-reaching impact, even if you've got nobody in your life, even if you're like me, kind of now, single, up here on my own, feeling like you know, my job is like a caring job, and it's like ideally like to have somebody in my life that was just here to give me a hug sometimes after a session when I come out of these sessions, and some of them are quite intense. I don't have it, but I know that every action I take and in every way I support myself, it has an impact on everybody else around me, my friends, my ability to uplift them or do what's necessary for them. I know it impacts my clients. My clients' healing goes on to impact other people. Every one of us, once we claim our own sovereignty, our own ability to control our own outcomes, once we do that, we go out into the world and we affect everybody else around us. And that's the way you stop the world having wars and disagreements and, you know, forget politics and the rest of it. Literally every person on this earth just needs to sort out their own shit, basically. That's the solution, because then they go out into the world being completely different people and taking completely different actions and impacting other people in a completely different way. If you're out there in the world spreading depression and woe and anxiety, and you need to be afraid, and you need to withdraw, and you need to not love, and you need to hate, and you need to be jealous, and that's why there's wars and the rest of it in the world, because that is just as infectious. So at what point in time are you going to stop telling yourself all the nonsense in your head and save your own life and prove to yourself that you can do something about your life? This has gone a lot longer than I thought it was going to go today. I did feel myself being a little bit angry this morning, because I think the thing is, once you know, you know. It's like I was telling my friend, it's once you identify what victimhood is like, you will see it everywhere. Once you sort your own sense of being a victim out and take back control of your life, you will see all of the victims in the world and the things that they do to themselves. And you will start getting a little bit frustrated and have to vent on social media, maybe like I am right now. And it's not that I have disregard or anything like that for them. It's like I want to get them and shake them and say, just, you know, your whole life could be different, but it is up to them, because it is about letting go of this sense of being a victim, of life being done to you, of depression visiting you as if it's like your mother-in-law that you didn't ask for, that came to visit, broke a hip and never left. You know, that's not what depression is. It's your mind saying and sending it to your body and all of the things and knocking you out and all the rest of it and telling you there's something we need to give a lot of thought here. It's like if you're in bed with depression, all you're doing is thinking, isn't it? And you're choosing generally to think about the crap things, the bad things, the things that are wrong. But what you should be doing is thinking, all right, I'm going to let my body feel zonked out, but let's switch up what thoughts are going on. What can I do about this situation? How can I switch it up? If you're going to lie in bed with depression, at least switch your thoughts up and start telling yourself some different things. And the first thing you need to tell yourself is that you are not a victim of life, and that life is not doing this to you, and you're not born faulty. You've just got stuck in your feelings, stuck in your head. Some things have happened to you in the past that you haven't resolved for yourself, and you're still feeling like that hurt child of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is. You're still stuck in that feeling. Your subconscious mind has just got stuck, and you need to get nudged out of it and go on a different path and create some new connections in your mind, rewire your mind. That's literally what you have to do, is just find some new thought patterns. And you might need something like rapid transformational therapy, and you can always book a free call with me at charmedlifetherapy.co.uk/call, because nobody ever felt worse by speaking to me, I can assure you of that one. Alright, I'm really passionate about this stuff because I wasted a lot of time in my life looking for somebody else to love me enough or want me enough or take notice of me or recognise my gifts, and all of that was not coming to me. And I've made peace in my mind with the fact that it doesn't come from the people that I wanted it to come from. You know what I mean? I was always looking for there were 6 of us kids and not a lot of attention to go around. So it was, yeah, and we weren't like emotionally resilient kids. We didn't have that ability when we were young to kind of give ourselves all the good stuff that we needed. We were looking for it externally, but it wasn't available. You know, and that's a big part of the problem. People try to get that good feeling, that self-esteem, that self-love, they try to get it from other people. But the trick is you have to learn to validate yourself, and you have to learn to love yourself, to tell yourself you're beautiful, to tell yourself you're worthy, and all of the rest of it. And it is work, and it's you taking a chance on yourself, and it's you following through on the ideas that you have, the positive ideas, the ideas that will get you the right help and the rest of it. So it really is up to you today. You can choose to say, I'm depressed, I have depression, I am an anxious person, that's just how it's going to be. Or you can choose to take an action, and you can choose to book a free call, and you can choose to tell me all about it, and I'll tell you what we can do about it. And then you have a choice to go off and make as to whether you're going to follow through. Basically, that's it. So I will see you later. Thanks for watching.